American tennis player Frances Tiafoe has defeated Andrey Rublev, and it seems like he won't be slowing down anytime soon. It's just a win after win for this guy. Here's everything we know about his recent match with Rublev and how it played out. Let's dive in. First off, post-win celebrations. Roughly 20 minutes after Frances Tiafoe got himself the first trip to the U.S. Open semifinals by an American man ever since 2006, he got together in an Arthur Ashe Stadium foyer with a group of friends, one of whom was Washington Wizards All-Star guard Bradley Beal. Everyone exchanged big smiles and hugs. Tiafoe exclaimed, "Let's pose for a dope photo." And that's exactly what they did. As the 9-person line stood next to each other, someone yelled asking the crew to throw up a dub. And so Tiafoe and others created a W, as in win, by joining their index fingers and both hands. Tiafoe's girlfriend sprang through the almost double doors, leaped into his arms, excitedly kissed him, and then even cleaned off her lipstick from his mouth. Most definitely a showman, and someone struggling for years for this kind of success on big stages, Tiafoe really is enjoying the ride, as are his friends, his family, as well as the partisan fans who last got the chance to celebrate a Grand Slam trophy from a man from the U.S. 2 decades ago. Next up, Tiafoe played really impressively. Tiafoe somehow pulled off the difficult task of following up the largest win of his career, that too when facing up against 22-time Grand Slam champion Rafael Nadal in the 4th round, with another major victory, winning against number 9 seed Andrey Rublev 7-6, 3, 7-6, 0, 6-4, behind the support of an excited crowd on Wednesday. "I love to show the world what I can do," said the 24-year-old American, who is now seated 22nd at Flushing Meadows. "I just want to go out there and try to give the crowd what they want, and that's me getting the win." Andrey Rublev, who was present at the Ashe stands that day, was the last U.S. man to make it to the semifinals in New York, which is where Roger Federer beat him in the title match 16 years ago. Rublev also was the last man from the U.S. to take home any Grand Slam singles championship, winning the 2003 U.S. Open. None of the men left in this gap of time have ever bagged themselves a huge trophy. Tiafoe's debut Grand Slam semifinal is going to come Friday against number 3 Carlos Alcaraz. Coming up, he's really worked his way up. Stacey Allister, tournament director, spoke of the victory and gave her blessings to Frances, saying that he's a great guy and good things happen to good people. No matter how things play out, you can't deny that this has been an important milestone in his career, and he's only going to go up from here, taking everything he's learned at the U.S. Open and using it to become a better player and sportsman. This step in the right direction has come with the aid of Tiafoe's coach, ex-pro player Wayne Ferreira, who stated that the player previously wasn't professional enough and gave him full credit for changing his habits when it came to both his diet and his practice routines. Apparently, Tiafoe has a real sweet tooth and found it hard to avoid sweets and chocolate. Okay, but knowing that just makes him all the more relatable. Ferreira revealed that it's taken them plenty of time to make this amount of progress, and he was surprised that it happened so fast. He'd estimated that it'd take at least till the end of next year. Let's take a look at how the match went. Wednesday, Tiafoe played offensive, aggressive tennis, never let himself get broken, and used 18 aces, as well as strong volleying, to oust Rublev, a Russian who fell to 0-6 for the major quarterfinals. Tiafoe was the winner, getting 31 of 41 points when he walked to the net. Rublev only went forward 11 times. Raindrops began falling just before the start of Tiafoe versus Rublev, so they stood around waiting for the retractable roof to be shut. That resulted in a cool, wind-free environment and a louder setting, with applause and yells from fans reverberating in what became an indoor arena, circumstances that favored Tiafoe. The only break of serve happened over 2 hours in, when Tiafoe got ahead 4-3 in the 3rd set, then stood mostly still in the court, soaking in the overwhelming crescendo of support from the audience. The other key moments happened at the ends of the first 2 sets. Tiafoe currently stands 6-0 in tiebreakers at this year's U.S. Open. Rublev was the one who actually got the first chance to nose ahead. He had a set point at 6-5 in the first, but Tiafoe removed it with a daring forehand to a corner that got him a netted reply. Coming up, things are getting heated. Several minutes after that, it was Tiafoe who took over the set, ending it with a 130-mile-per-hour ace, then walking to the changeover, motioning with his racket for more noise and nodding all the while. A scene kind of like this played out in the second tiebreaker after a drop volley by Tiafoe led to a mistake by Rublev to make it 6-0. When Tiafoe gave us a backhand return winner to end a 2-set lead, he ran to the sideline, seated himself near his messy collection of shirts, towels, and socks spread out around the field, and shook his fist in the middle of the chaos of a standing ovation. Tiafoe said that this was the best tiebreaker he'll ever play. It was pretty laughable. Rublev never tried to conceal his anger at the way things were turning out. He stuck himself in the leg with his own racket or would punch his strings. Again and again, he signaled and screamed toward his guest box, where only 4 of the 15 seats were taken, which was a pretty big contrast to Tiafoe's completely full box. Well, we know who the popular one is. Next up, what were the responses to the match? Ferreira was present. He watched the whole thing, and so was Jill Smoller, Tiafoe's agent, who's got some other pretty famous clients, including Serena Williams. Tiafoe's twin brother, Franklin was also present, along with their parents, who moved to the U.S. from Sierra Leone in the 1990s because of a civil war there. They moved to Maryland, where Tiafoe's dad helped make a junior tennis center and then worked as a maintenance man. This is what led Frances and Franklin to take up tennis. Ferreira thought their story was pretty great, movie material actually, but for that to happen, he has to win the Grand Slam. Now, in other related news, let's take a look at what's happening in the women's quarterfinals. In the women's quarterfinals Wednesday, number 6, Aryna Sabalenka, got herself the second trip in a row to the last four at Flushing Meadows with a 6-1, 7-6-4 win over Karolina Pliskova. Sabalenka was totally confident, strong, and ready for what was coming next. Immediately, she said she was already ready for another fight. You've got to admire her unbreakable spirit. Her victory has given her even more confidence and drive. We wouldn't be shocked if she makes it really far or even wins. Sabalenka's upcoming opponent is going to be number 1 Iga Swiatek, who defeated number 8 Jessica Pegula on Wednesday night. Pegula was the final player from the United States in the women's division. Coming up, Rafa doesn't know when he's going to play again. After being defeated by Tiafoe in the first round of the U.S. Open for the first time since 2016, Rafael Nadal has publicly said that he's uncertain of when he will come back to the competition. The defeated legend said at a news conference that he must go back home to fix things. He also said that he has more important things to deal with right now. Nadal, a 4-time U.S. Open winner attempting his 23rd Grand Slam title, was eliminated in the 16th round by the 26th-ranked Tiafoe. The end score was 6-4, 4-6, 6-4, and 6-3. The American broke 18 aces and 49 winners, easily overtaking a tired Nadal at Arthur Ashe Stadium. After winning both the French and Australian Opens in 2022, Nadal had to face his first Grand Slam defeat of the year when an abdominal injury stopped him from competing in the second half of the Wimbledon tournament. It was his first loss in the quarterfinals or higher in 16 consecutive Grand Slam tournaments. Finally, Nick Kyrgios hit with yet another fine. Nick Kyrgios was once again fined $14,000 for unsportsmanlike behavior after his U.S. Open quarterfinal loss to Karen Khachanov on Tuesday, where the hot-headed Australian broke 2 rackets after the defeat. The fine was the biggest leveled by the tournament so far this year, and this new addition takes Kyrgios' total of accumulated fines up to $32,500 for his 5 offenses in New York. The money will be automatically cut from the $473,200 Kyrgios earned from competing in the tournament, $28,200 for doubles, and $445,000 for singles at the year's final Grand Slam. And that's a wrap. What are your thoughts on Tiafoe? Do you think he'll win the Grand Slam? Let us know in the comments below. Remember, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting videos in the future. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.